is week 2 of the Amazing Readathon Sunday, and I still need to get to Pan Am. If you're just joining me on this journey, what I'm doing is every single week vlogging my experiences as we try to survive the Amazing Readathon. This is a month-long readathon hosted by Bree from 4 Paws in a Book. The third year that she's doing it, there's still time to join, so I will have all of the information linked below. But for now, we are trying to make it to our third leg, and that is Pan Am from, of course, the Hunger Games, or really we're trying to get to the capital city in Pan Am in the Hunger Games. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. And the prompt that we have to fulfill in order to arrive in this third world is to read a book with an over-the-top cover. If you watched my vlog from last week, which I'll also have linked below, if you want to catch up on it, then you probably assumed that I would be picking up The Feast by Margaret Kennedy, because I absolutely have to read this for my job. I work for a podcast called She Done It. This is a golden age mystery. It's for our book club, and I do really want to read it. However, I feel as though I have been juggling too many books at one time, and so I've pivoted once again because this was not my initial book either, and I've picked up a book that I've been currently reading, and I really only got a couple chapters into it during May, and yeah, it's not a great thing to admit because this was for my book club for my Patreon, The Manor. Only Christy in the book club was supposed to be reading Marjorie Allingham's Golden Age mystery, Death of a Ghost, and I just didn't make it. I was too busy in May trying to catch up with Bella the Booktuber stuff, which is coming out in July, and everything else in between. So yeah, I let my patrons down. I'm sorry, guests. I'm sorry, sleuths. I'm trying to make it up to you. And so I've been reading this all weekend, reading this all day, and I only have about maybe 75 pages left. It's not a very long Golden Age mystery, and it follows the art world. Someone is murdered during this art gallery exposition, and now they're trying to figure out who it is. It seems at this point, though, that our main character, our detective Campion, he knows who it is. He just needs to prove who actually did it. My hope is to finish this during Patreon sprints, speaking of the Manor, because I have Scooby Gang hangouts in about an hour, actually, for suspects and up. So they're going to cheer me on, hopefully, unless they're the enemy. They could be for a different team during the Amazing Readathon, and then I can officially arrive in Pan Am, arrive in the capital city, and just kind of take a breath, because I've been behind. I was behind when we were trying to get to Basgiath from Fourth Wing, and so I want to enter week 2 having been on task in the current leg, and then if I fall behind again, who cares? All right, I'm gonna get to this Golden Age mystery. Wish me luck. I totally forgot to clarify whether this actually counts as an over-the-top cover, at least in my opinion. And I'm gonna say it does, especially because this is from probably like the 70s or 80s. And I feel like you can just tell that it's not from today, that if it were republished, it probably would have such a simplistic cover, because this is not only framed, but it's framed by the foliage. And on top of that, you can see on the inside that there is the murder scene, the drama of the cigarette and the painting revealed, and someone hiding in the dark who ends up killing a person while at this art gallery exhibition for a long dead artist. So I'm counting it as an over-the-top cover. As far as Golden Age mysteries go, I'm sure every single genre is going to have its own kind of over-the-topness, and every person who watches this has a different subjective view on what over-the-top actually counts for. But yeah, I'm counting it for this, and I'm not going to be using a power-up, because I was going to use a power-up for this one, because I don't think this one's over the top. I know it doesn't really make sense, but I feel like this is way too simple with it just having like the coastal scene, versus this one, there's like all of these little details, and I do think it's a very dramatic. So yeah, just to clarify that. Good morning! It is Tuesday. In about a half an hour, I'm hosting morning sprints for Amazing Readathon, which also tells you I did not update you yesterday. Monday was not the day. I had my 2 jobs, one of them being the library, which was really lovely. As usual, I was able to do some B-roll, picked up some books, potentially for Face Off, but I also just didn't do that much reading. We did get our 4th leg, which was really exciting, but now I already feel behind again. This seems to be the perpetual issue with the Amazing Readathon and me, because there's just not enough time in the day. There isn't. It's fine, but I wish that that would change. Universe, can you help a girl out? But you know what? I did end up reaching Panem in time. I read Death of a Ghost as planned, and it was a fun mystery, art gallery, some humor, some snobbery, a kind of wild ending. It definitely ended up being more of a how to prove it than it was a whodunit, because Albert Campion, our detective, knew pretty soon, as soon as a couple murders happened, he was like, I know who did it. I just need to prove who they did, like how they did it. And so it was fun, but probably more so like a 3-star range book for me. And then our 4th leg dropped, and I wasn't able to log any of my sightseeing books. So those are still waiting for me to provide points for my team. But I am arriving in the Shire. Hopefully today, we'll see what happens. I've got 2 books I'm working on. One of them is Small Miracles by Olivia Atwater. This is a shout out to Brie, because the only reason why I knew this book existed, the only reason why I knew of this author, was when she recommended it to me. So thank you so much, Brie. It's so good. It's cozy urban fantasy. We follow Gadriel, the fallen angel of petty temptations. All they want is for people to eat the last piece of chocolate, to live their lives a little bit without feeling as though they're sinning and going to be damned for the smallest inconveniences or the smallest pleasures in life. And I really love this book so much. There's already so much humor that I kind of forgot about, and I'm only about 25% of the way through. It's a pretty small book. I have the audio, so that feels pretty confident that that might end up being my Shire book. But the other cozy book that I'm working on actually leans more comfort, just because I find this subgenre, this category in mystery, to be really comforting for me, and that is the Golden Age mystery. This came out in the 1940s. I think it's a 1949 mystery, and this is more of kind of a subtle, soft suspense, because this cliffside ends up collapsing. The hotel on top is destroyed, people end up being buried, and now we're kind of going back prior to these events to figure out why these people came to the hotel. What are there links to each other? Is there something more sinister going on? And I am only like 50 pages in. It's 400 pages, but I have to read it for my job. So I'll probably be going in between these 2 books all day long, and we're just gonna see what book I finish first. So yeah, I also have some editing I've got to do, because Battle of the Booktuber is just around the corner, and I don't have any of those vlogs fully edited yet. I also have my mid-year calm down tag that I want to bring back from last year, and today is probably the day I want to record for that. So there's a lot on the to-do list, and this is the perfect time to read cozy books, just to keep me chill while I'm trying to get everything else done. But yeah, I need to get ready, so I'll see you guys probably later today, because you'll get 2 updates on Tuesday since I didn't update you on Monday. So hopefully I'm productive. All right, I'll see you guys later. I have been so productive today, and it's only, what, 4:30? So the day is still young. We still have the evening, and hopefully I won't lose steam. But you know what? No promises. This morning, obviously, I had sprints, and it was so fun. I think that this has made me realize I probably should host morning sprints more often, just because it's a great way to start off my day, being accountable, getting my reading done, getting other tasks done, because not only am I now a third of the way through both of these books, but I ended up changing. Now I look like a normal person. I'm not in my pajamas anymore. And I ended up recording my mid-year calm down tag. I created it last year. It was super fun. Quite a few large channels actually ended up doing it, which I'm still kind of baffled by. One in particular is Murphy Napier. You're not watching this, Murphy, but I am grateful to you. Okay, that's it. PSA over. So I'm feeling good about those answers, feeling good about reflecting on the year, getting excited for the next 6 months, all of that jazz. But I also, ended up kind of juggling these two reads, going back and forth. I got a bit distracted because there were some competitors who ended up posting their vlogs to the Battle of the Booktuber Discord. So of course I had to watch them. But beyond that, these two have been my focus all day. So when it comes to Small Miracles by Olivia Atwater, as I said before, this is a reread, and I love it so much. It's so good. Everyone should read it. Cozy urban fantasy. It follows the angel of petty temptations. And Gadriel is just so fun. I find them so relatable. They are a bit gender fluid just because that's how angels are. So sometimes Gadriel goes by he, him, other times she, her, because it depends on how the angel decides to present themselves. And I really love how natural that is. No one questions it, as it should be. And on top of that, I feel for Holly. I feel for Ella, the two humans that Gadriel has been assigned to make Holly a little bit more bad, and also just to figure out what Ella's deal is, because Ella's actually worse than Gadriel is. And it's a really fun dynamic, a lot of found family, and just a lot of queer rep. Super, super fun. Cannot recommend it enough. I am a third of the way through, as I said, and yeah, it's just as good the second time around, maybe better, because I know where it's leading. And it's so, so good. You have to try this book, especially if you've tried other things by Olivia Atwater. For instance, I've read Half a Soul. It is actually right here. It's just off screen. And while I enjoyed it, this is historical fantasy with a romance. It's just not as good. I mean, I'm going to say it. I gave this 4 stars. This has all the 5 stars. Such different writing, in my opinion. So yeah, even if you've tried something else by Atwater, make sure that your next choice is Small Miracles, no matter what your thoughts were about the other works. But then I also ended up getting about a third of the way through The Feast. I'm in the middle of Monday, because that's how it's organized, as you can kind of see. It would be a fun book to maybe try to read every day and follow the days of the week, but I do not have time for that. Brie does not have time for that for the amazing readathon. And so I'm going to be reading multiple days today. And I'm really hoping to maybe get halfway through. And the long goal, the kind of far-reaching goal, is to get 75%. That might not happen, and that's okay. No big deal. And honestly, I'm not enjoying it as much as I was in the beginning. I'm still fascinated by the characters. The children specifically are a bit sinister. They play this game called Spartans, and they have all of these rules. They're challenging each other to potentially do dangerous things. And I think one of the quotes was that good things are bad. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Oh yeah, here we are. It gives us all of the rules. There's a lot of mixed media in this as well, whether it be diary entries or a sermon or something else. So it's kind of interesting to see that in a 1949 novel. But anyways, so it says the noble covenant of Spartans. Object is to raise up a band of Spartans to rule England and eventually to rule the world. Motto, everything nice is bad, everything nasty is good. And the two women who are servants at this hotel who discover this list are really unsettled. They're thinking, these are children, we know they play games, but there's something off about this. And I do find that really interesting. The children are probably my favorite part, when we're in their POVs and they're just navigating this world that has of course been screwed up by the adults, because there are some really messed up selfish adults in this book as well. So as much as I'm actually really intrigued, I don't know why. Maybe there's something going on. I could see this being a 4-star, but it definitely doesn't feel like a 5-star at the moment. It could change. But yeah, at the moment, I am literally the same percentage. I'm a third of the way through this book, a third of the way through this book. We'll see which one gets me to the Shire. It might be a bit of a race, but this one I definitely have to finish by Thursday, because I did contact Caroline. We are not recording tomorrow, thank goodness. So it gives me a little bit more wriggle room. I still want to finish this ASAP though. So yeah, I'll update you all tomorrow on if I make any progress. Hopefully I do, and also what else is on my agenda. So yeah, I'll talk to you guys then. is hard to believe that we are already halfway through week 2 of Amazing Readathon. We are still trying to get to the Shire, and I do mean it, because not only has the next prompt not dropped, but I haven't finished either of these books. I'm very, very close to finishing The Feast. I have maybe 100 pages to go, so I'm over 2/3 of the way. I'll definitely finish this in the next couple hours, which is exciting because then I can fully focus on Small Miracles, which I'm absolutely adoring, but I haven't touched it since last night because today has been the day where I finally try to get through The Feast, and I am actually enjoying it. It's kind of crazy because I felt as though I was intrigued at the beginning. My last update of the day yesterday made it seem a bit lackluster, probably 3-star range, which was fine. I would have maybe DNF'd if I wasn't reading this for my job, but now I've been eating this up. I'm invested. I care for the children that I think I said were really creepy in the beginning. I found them kind of disturbing in the best way, and now I just feel for them. I understand why they are the way they are, and I'm invested in having some of the villains of the story get their just desserts because things are falling into place. And also, I mean, don't forget, at the beginning of this story, we were told the cliff is going to collapse. This hotel is going to fall into the sea. People are going to die. Are they going to be the right people? I know that sounds terrible. I know it sounds terrible. But, you know, I obviously want the people who I'm rooting for to have their happily ever after, to get away from the horrible people in their lives, because there really are, like, basically these kind of leeches in certain characters' lives. I feel for Jerry. I feel for Evangeline. Her father is absolutely horrible. I feel for the children, specifically Blanche, for Hebe and what they both have been through. And there are just other characters that you can see that they have a like good moral path, but they've just been connected to these horrible people. It's kind of crazy how I think that this book from 1949 is a great representation of how just because they're family, just because they're blood relations, does not mean that they're good for you. It does not mean that you are obligated to be in their lives, to assist them in any way. And maybe the reason why I'm thinking about that is because on my shelf, I have a new release that I've been slowly reading. It's called The Power of Parting. It's nonfiction, and it's actually, I think it's written by the CEO of HarperCollins or something like that. I could be naming the wrong publisher, but it seems really interesting, and so that's got me on the brain, or that's on my brain. Anyways, so the whole thing is I'm really fascinated by this narrative and what it's making me think about, on top of the fact that there is so much social commentary on what the state of the UK, the state of the world is post World War II, and I've really appreciated that. Discussions of classes, of the working class versus the middle class, what it means to have wealth by having land in your family, and that's just not going to cut it anymore. That, you know, the police, that the government aren't going to simply be kind to you because you have money. They actually expect you to help society in the same ways. You haven't earned anything. So yeah, oh my gosh, this turned around for me. I just feel like it was a bit of a slow burn narrative, and that might have been why I was kind of just not as enamored as I am now, but I'm so invested. This could be a 5-star, and obviously this is a reread 5-star, so now I'm suddenly loving my life. Before I was like, okay, fine, chillin', it's fine, but now I'm like, I want to get to the Shire because I might be flying, or I guess it's going through portals. So maybe I'll be traveling through a 5-star portal. Is that how we should describe it? Anyways, yeah, feeling really good. And of course, we ended up having the roadblock today. I ended up being able to treat myself with some tacos. So this was the perfect day for Brie to drop it because I actually had like an appetizing, nice looking meal to showcase. So thanks for that, Brie. That was great. And yeah, I probably should arrive at the Shire tonight. Hopefully the prompt doesn't drop until tomorrow, because then not only will I finish this book, but I think that there's a chance I could finish Small Miracles, which would be a great sightseeing prompt. And yeah, I could hopefully have 2 more books I could recommend to you, because I literally have not met a book I haven't liked in the Amazing Readathon yet, and that's probably jinxing myself. So buckle up, friends. My luck may just change.
Dinosaurs eat man. Woman inherits the earth.
It is Thursday evening. We are on the move yet again, but I have had a long day. So I'm going to try to make this succinct so that I can get back to relaxing because, oh my gosh, I am ready for the weekend. With that said, am I? Because in less than 24 hours, Face Off weekend begins, and yeah, no, I don't think I'm ready for that, but you know what? It's fine. We're going to stay in the present, and the present is leg 5. We are officially at the wall. Game of Thrones. I'm not a really big fan of that franchise / that book series, but I know a lot of people are huge fans of it. I'm just in colder weather, which actually I'm excited for too. I prefer winter, so that's fine by me. But anyways, so the question is, did I get to the Shire in time? I did, by the skin of my teeth. Last night, right before bed, I ended up finishing The Feast, so I was able to log it for the Shire, and I'm on our current leg. However, I now have a sightseeing book in my back pocket because I finished this right after we had the chilling cover or wintry setting announced, which is the prompt for the wall. But you know what? That's okay. These points will go to my team eventually. Now, with The Feast, I loved this book. It was so well done. I'm so pleasantly surprised. It is a book that grew on me with every passing page. I was really impressed at how seamless it all was, and I was invested. I wanted to see how these family dramas were going to wrap up. Would the villains of the story get their just desserts? I would describe this as more literary fiction meets suspense. Some thriller elements, but definitely not a golden age mystery, and that's okay because I really loved this. And if it had been described as what I just said, literary fiction, suspense, thriller, I don't think I ever really would have picked it up. So yeah, I'm really pleasantly surprised and grateful. It's not really a common thing to say that you're grateful for mismarketing. So yeah, thanks Faber for kind of messing up because I loved this book. I'm giving it 4.75 stars. And then for my sightseeing book that I now have in my back pocket, Small Miracles was obviously a reread, and I just finished it a couple hours ago. It's just such a great breath of fresh air. It's so fun. It's so cozy. This is for the cozy readers. The humor continues to hit, and also just the heart-wrenching moments of grief and what it feels like to still mourn someone's loss or not mourn their loss. What do we do from there? I will say that this may not be for everyone regarding like angels, demons, sins, virtue. That could be a trigger for some people. I'm not religious, so I don't really have any affiliation with it, but I will say that it remains heartwarming. And I think that Olivia Atwater does a really great job of providing balance, of acknowledging that Christianity isn't something that everyone actually is related to, because you see examples of characters who are atheist, Wiccans, who are Buddhist or following different types of religions, and they're not touched by Gadriel's power. They aren't affiliated with it at all, and so it just kind of shows that whatever the end game is, whether you believe in hell or heaven or whatever your faith is, that is what's going to determine how you get through life. And at the end of the day, it's really just trying to be a good person while also still enjoying your life. So yeah, it was wonderful. Another 5 stars for me. No one is surprised. Again, this was a reread. I love it to death, and I will be rereading it in the future. Of course, I'm going to be loving it then too. But the real question is, now moving forward, what am I going to be reading for my chilling cover / wintry read in order to get to that wall? And that book is right below me. I'm going to be yet again rereading a cozy favorite. I don't know what is in the water in June specifically, because I have mostly only been reading cozy and comfort reads, and I do think that that's part of my strategy. It's actually working out really well for me, and probably why I'm staying on track and not really getting behind too often with these legs. This time though, it's cozy sci-fi, and I do find that kind of funny because originally we went cozy fantasy horror, then we went to cozy sci-fi with Kitty Cat Killsat, then we ended up doing some kind of cozy comfort suspense from the Golden Age, cozy urban fantasy, and now we've got cozy sci-fi yet again. However, rather than a space opera, this is a road trip throughout the Southwest, and it's because an alien keeps picking up or kidnapping people along the way. They don't really understand what this alien wants, what it wants from them, but that's part of the fun, part of the mystery, and there does end up being this ragtag group, and they kind of have their own found family, and it's really, really sweet. I've been meaning to reread this for so long, and I can't wait to do it. I gave it 4.5 stars the first time I read it. We'll see if that sticks, if it rises, if it lowers. Either way, I can't see myself not having a great time. The only caveat is that I'm kind of hoping to make it to the wall before Face Off starts. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot to ask for myself, because I had just said at the start of this update that I kind of only have, what now, 18 hours approximately, math? Well, give or take. We'll say 18 hours, but I actually think it might be less than that. No, oh my God, we've got 19 hours because it's 5 o'clock right now and I am in Eastern time. So I probably is not gonna make it. I'm probably not gonna finish this before face off, but you know what? A girl can try, and you will hear from me tomorrow, either just before or just after face off begins, when I have to wrap up this vlog. So we shall see, but for now, this evening, I have a lot of reading to do and I can't wait. Well, it is Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern time, meaning we have officially started face off, and I'm only about halfway through The Road to Roswell. I knew it was too big of a goal. It's fine. I will slowly read this throughout the weekend as I do face off events. But man, do I just want to binge this because it is such a fun reread. I'm finding it really chill. I love Francie and Wade and Indy. We finally met Joseph again. There are just so many really wonderful characters in this ragtag group. And oh my gosh, I already obviously know what's to come. So I'm just waiting for additional reveals, additional dynamics to this group to finally unfold. Indy is such a fun alien character. I just find him so endearing, and yeah, people should be reading this more. I feel as though it's a bit of an underrated cozy sci-fi because it really is so sweet. It's really fun. It's a road trip, so perfect for summer as well. But like I said, unfortunately, I'm not at the wall yet. Soon I'll be at the wall, probably by the end of the weekend, and I'll be able to probably start next week's vlog by saying that I've finished this book. But for now, since Face Off is, in its throes, I have some manga to read. I also have other books like Lore Olympus, a few priority reads to get through, and yeah, I think it's going to be really fun. The lore keepers are so pumped, doing different strategies. We'll see if any of it comes to fruition as far as us, doing well in the standings, because we also have leg books, we also have sightseeing to accomplish. But what's very, very interesting is that I have yet another little hint from Bree herself. Now, remember, it is 1 p.m. Eastern time, Friday the 13th, and Bree gave me this hint 2 hours ago. So things could have drastically changed, not only by now, but by the time the video actually goes live on Monday, because this will be a few days after she actually gave me this hint. And she said that the lore keepers are 13 points ahead of the team directly behind us in this current leg. And the current leg I'm talking about is the wall, leg 5. So good job, lore keepers. The thing is that doesn't necessarily mean we're in first. It just means that there is at least one team behind us. This is a close race. I think that I have no idea exactly the points, obviously, but in comparison to Amazing Readathon, the first year, the second year, I'm feeling the tension. I feel like we finally have 4 teams that are all very close and equally competitive. So this is going to be a really fun month. But anyways, thank you all so much for getting to the end, for hanging out with me while I was mostly rereading a few favorites and just having such a good time. And also, yeah, I hope you all are having a great month. If you aren't feeling chatty, but you do want to prove you have been here, and I do appreciate seeing these comments so much, then feel free, in honor of The Road to Roswell, provide me an alien emoji, a spaceship emoji, anything to do with space, the galaxy, in the comments. I would love to see them. Thank you all so much, and if you missed my week 1 vlog, I will have it right here. Happy readathon! Happy reading! Bye!